Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today we're going to talk about letting it go. By it, I'm referring to things that aren't really significant. And the big picture is choosing your battles. Because if you bring up every little thing that bothers you, particularly about somebody else, what they do, what they say, it causes unnecessary friction. The thing to keep in mind is whoever you're dealing with, they are a product of how they were raised, their experiences, and it's not that they're deliberately trying to hurt you. So a good thing to keep in mind is processing what they've said that bothers you and just knowing that what they've said isn't true. But before I get into that more, I want to back up and go over meditating. And I know I've talked about prayer and meditation a lot. The meditation I'm talking about isn't sitting on the floor with your legs crossed and keeping your mind free for that hour. Because the reason I say this is because after that hour, you still need to deal with those thoughts when you get up and start functioning. And I am certainly not putting down that type of meditation. It doesn't work for me because my mind, I think, is too active. It can override that. However, if it works for you, that's awesome. That's amazing. But what I'm referring to is being empty inside. So when your mind starts to race and you have those thoughts that are hard to deal with, that are setting you into a weird state of mind or a weird mood, you say to your own brain or your own mind, be empty inside. And those words at first may just be lip service, but when you repeat it over and over, it becomes a way of life. And when you do that, it stops your thoughts right in their tracks. So you are clear. When I first started doing that, I was kind of afraid to do it because I was afraid that it would make me zombie-like. I'd be empty inside, not having emotions, not acting like I normally would to certain things. But to my surprise, what it did, when I really followed it, and I was empty inside, I noticed it made me more in the present moment, more engaged with who I was talking to, more engaged with what I was doing, and I started really loving the feeling. So if you're worried about being zombie-like, it doesn't work that way. It puts you right where you want to be in the present moment. You don't need to have those racing thoughts about your past or the what-ifs or the worries, but you want to be right where you are right now, and that's when you really enjoy life. So I wanted to clear that up for you because I know recently I've talked a lot about prayer and meditation, and that's the type of meditation that I am talking about. And the more you practice that, and it really doesn't take long, the more you train your brain that when you say that, it stops it. I mean, for example, I was laying in bed watching TV. For a moment, I noticed I was getting into kind of a funky mood, and I thought, oh my gosh, what was I just thinking about? So I said to myself, be empty inside. Boom, it snapped me right out of it. And it may not do it immediately in the very beginning, but it is a quick learn. It only takes a short time to say that to yourself and have your mind respond to it. After all, you are the one in charge. You're in charge of your thoughts. They will try to overpower you. But by doing this exercise, and it really is simple, it gives you a lot of freedom. Freedom to enjoy what's around you more. Now I'm going to bounce back to letting things go. You know, in life, when we're around another individual, in any relationship, whether it be friendship or romantic relationship, spouse, whatever it may be, they are going to say things that bother us from time to time. And sometimes it's a matter of us taking wrong what we've heard or not taking personally what they've said to us. Again, it goes back to being confident enough in yourself that when somebody says something, if it does seem deliberate to hurt you or whatever, that you feel good enough within yourself to not react immediately. If you give something time, you will find it just kind of works itself out, or it kind of dissipates where you find that it wasn't that important. In fact, I think we all have heard of that book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And really, that's what it amounts to. It's about if you want to get along in relationships with other people, you have to not sweat the small stuff. And to do that, I think you have to put yourself first. You have to know within yourself that what somebody says doesn't really matter to you. It's not the truth. They're only reacting to whatever negativity they're going through, whether it be a jealousy, a anger, something that they experienced when they were younger. Whatever it is, the big picture is that it is their problem. It is not your problem. And this goes hand in hand with you learning to put yourself first, to grow your confidence, to know that no matter what anybody says to you, that it isn't true and it doesn't matter. It's really irrelevant. I had someone over the other day working for me, and I started to tell her something that I was going to be doing or that I was working on. I know better than to do that. It's really funny how some people don't want to hear your successes or your goals. I don't know what that's about, what that says about them. But her response, the look on her face, really bothered me, and it kind of taught me a lesson because I realized that what I do, what I'm working on, what I'm going through is between me and God. It doesn't matter what she or anybody else says. But I've learned, once again, it brought me back to I don't need to tell everybody everything that I'm doing. There's strength in keeping some things between you and God. One time this girl said to me that basically I was letting her know what things I didn't like what she was saying. And she said, she was referring to herself and someone else. She said, I know what you're saying is the truth, but we don't want to hear it. And it's like, I think that's pretty much the situation with a lot of people. They simply don't want to hear it. And the big picture is when somebody tries to put you down in some indirect way or belittle you without acting like they're trying to belittle you, again, you have to find that confidence within yourself, because in order to get someone to stop doing that, we would be stomping out fires left and right constantly. And we can't change people. We can't change how they are. If that's their MO, where they feel justified or good about making someone else feel bad, then you have to slowly think about what place they have in your life. Aside from that, again, it goes back to being confident in yourself to not let those things that people say bother you. But we can't go around trying to change people, trying to make everybody say and do what we think they should say and do. People are who they are. And it gets back to toxic people, to who you want in your life. Because with some people, if you want them in your life, but you don't like an area that they're addressing, and you bring it up and you bring it up too forcefully, you risk losing them. So you have to think, am I ready to risk this person? You almost have to think of the consequences before you address the situation. There's the best and worst scenario. And if it's something that is really detrimental to you and you need to say it, then you need to say it. And possibly that person is not a good fit to have in your life, But if it's just people being people, because we are not all cookie cutters, we are all a product of our upbringing, of our situations, of our experiences. And some people don't seem to have a filter, so they do and say these things. Quite honestly, I love to be around people that support me, help to build me up, make me laugh. But that's not always the scenario. So we have to take the good with the bad, but hopefully in our life, we will come across people who give us something, who give us that support, that laughter. Because quite honestly, it seems like people have gotten so serious. They need to laugh more to find joy. There's a lot of funny situations in this world. And when you come across someone, I think you get a feeling who you can share certain things with. And thank God for those people, because not everybody fits in that category, and that's okay, because in our life we have all different categories, and you tend to learn who you can share things with and who you can't. I'm going to give you another example. One time somebody was visiting, and so they were staying here, and they gave me negative situation after negative situation. So finally I said, you need to be more positive. Oh my gosh, you would have thought I hit her over the head. She got so upset. I did not know why, so I thought, okay, that's a fragile person. I can't say certain things to them. But then later, I remembered something that had happened in her life. And possibly by saying that, it brought up memories or old feelings, and so she was reacting to that. So when you are disturbed by what somebody says or does, remember, oftentimes it's something that they've gone through, something that they've lived, something that they've experienced. So with taking these steps to be your best self, it won't matter so much when people do say these things. But if it does, as time goes on, we learn who to keep at arm's length. So remember that everybody is reacting in a way that they know or in a way that they've been taught. But the good news is, and let's really focus on this in 2025, that we've got to put ourselves first. And I don't mean in a selfish way, but you do, because you are counting on you. You are the only one who's going to be there 100% for you, other than God. And I think God wants us to look at ourselves in a way where we're protective of ourselves. We need to do what makes us happy, regardless if that's letting certain people in our lives or not. But we need to do what makes us happy. And I don't mean eliminate people. I just mean, and I think this is a natural instinct, you tend to gravitate toward people that make you feel good. It's just a natural instinct. And those that don't, those that always hurt you, that thing where they say, bring me close and you slap me, bring me close and you slap me. Some people make you feel like that's what they're doing to you. And so I think a natural instinct when that happens is to back off from that particular person. I don't mean 100%. I don't mean you need to have them out of your life 100%. But being true to yourself and being good to yourself, you just naturally want to be around people that make you feel supported, that makes you feel good. I have a friend that makes me laugh. She has a great sense of humor, and consequently, she's somebody that I call every day, if not every day, almost every day, sometimes multiple times a day, because she doesn't make me feel bad. There's no jealousy. I believe that my best interest is her best interest and vice versa. And consequently, when we talk, I always end up laughing. And again, I love to laugh. If we were going to have any New Year's resolution, I would say, laugh more. Because that's what the world needs. Everything is far too serious. I usually scroll through Facebook probably once a day, and there are a lot of memes out there. Some are good ones, some aren't so good. Some are funny, some are serious. But every once in a while, there's one that resonates with me, and I'd like to share it with you. It's by Hafiz Poetry. I'm trying to give the proper credit. I may be saying it wrong. And it goes something like, whatever happens, stay alive. Don't die before you're dead. Don't lose yourself. Don't lose hope. Don't lose direction. Stay alive. Stay alive with yourself. Stay alive with yourself, with every cell in your body, with every fiber of your skin. Stay alive. Read, study, think, build, invent, create, speak, write, dream, design. Stay alive. Stay alive inside you. Stay alive also outside. Fill yourself with colors of the world. Fill yourself with peace. Fill yourself with hope. Stay alive with joy. There is only one thing you should not waste in life, and that's life itself. This particular meme really resonated with me because episode after episode we're working on being our best selves, being the best that we can be. And I think we're on the right track. I did an earlier episode about when you're on your path, on your journey, it's like going down the river and you're just going along for a ride, and then suddenly something pushes you to the left or pushes you to the right. And life is kind of that way. We don't need to make those left or right decisions ourselves, because sometimes we're fighting against what is for us. But it was really interesting. There's a singer, I'm sure you've all heard of him, called Jelly Roll. He's become quite popular recently. And he was saying that in his life, it used to be hard, he used to struggle until he learned to just let it go and ride the tide, ride the river. And he also made reference to sometimes it leads you left, sometimes it leads you right. To me, it was kind of a confirmation that life does not have to be hard. That if something doesn't happen that we want to happen, it's because there's something better for us, something right around the corner. So keep working to better yourself. Keep on this path until it becomes a way of life, and then everything around you gets easier. Sometimes when you're making positive change for yourself, you feel like you're wandering alone, but it's okay. It's okay because it won't be forever. It'll just be while you're bettering yourself. But when all is said and done, and you come through on the other side, the best thing we can do is help that person behind us. With that being said, God bless you, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.